Hello, everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. I hope you're all doing very, very well. We are back with another live. Another live. I used to do these all the time. Once upon a time, we did these twice a day. Not quite as much now, but listen, I want to get back in the swing of it. Especially when there's a lot going on. And today's a big one. This is a big one. I would have done something anyway, but obviously now we've got some news regarding the stadium. The stadium. If you see the thumbnail as well, you're probably thinking, what does that thumbnail even mean? It doesn't look like Stamford Bridge, does it? And why is there a stamp that says approved? What is that? Where's that come from? Has Stamford Bridge been approved? Can we build? Can we build in Fulham? Are we building in Earls Court? Like, what's the crack here? What are we doing? And when we look at Earls Court, when we look at the stadium as a whole, and everything surrounding that particular story, unfortunately, it's not surrounding Stamford Bridge at the moment, which is why you probably don't recognize the background, because that's something that hasn't even been built yet. This is all to do with the Earls Court Development Company. That's the company that are basically building a number of homes and venues in that area instead of a stadium, which, by the way, can still change. They might not end up doing it. So I just want to be very, very clear that even though we're going to be going through the stadium and updating you on what's going on, this isn't set in stone, right? This is something that has made some progress from Earls Court's perspective, but very much still an opportunity for things to change. And I think it's really important that we understand that, and we don't drop our heads too early, because I see a few people reacting to the news about the Earls Court Development Company. People going, there we go, it's official, Earls Court is off. It's not necessarily true. There is still a little bit of sort of leeway, a little bit, but if we're being totally honest, it's not looking great. If we're going to build on Earls Court, it's not looking great. Right, let's see what everyone's saying. How are we doing, guys? Big up to Daniel. Good to see you, mate. Chelsea needs a better stadium. We're falling behind our rivals and we're losing out on lots of money. Well, you're not entirely wrong there. We're definitely missing out on a lot of revenue. Good to see you, Stephen. Thought Earls Court was done. Did Meatloaf's Bowley Vivid Seats profits change the council's mind? Well, I don't know the entire story behind that. I mean, I really don't know, to be honest with you. I would have thought that we would have made more of an effort to do something like this from Bowley's side, and I think that's probably the case, actually. But one of the things that I've never ever believed, and I still don't believe, is that Chelsea are going to build with Clearlake. There's no evidence for Clearlake Capital to want a stadium, a new stadium, a revamped stadium, whether that's, again, where we already have one, or if that's an Earls Court. There's no evidence to suggest that Clearlake Capital are interested in building. Because remember, guys, this is private equity. Private equity care about making money. They want to prove cash flow. If you end up building a new stadium, then that puts you in debt and that ruins cash flow, which is why, and I've been saying this for about a year and a half, we're not going to get a new stadium under Clearlake. And I believe if Bowley was the majority shareholder, then we probably would have a decent chance of Earls Court. But because he's not, that is why everything is moving so slowly. Big up to Harry. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Good to see you. Big up to Pierre as well, guys. Smash the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel as well. I am going to dive into everything, but we're gonna have a little target before we do that. We're going to get up to 50 likes, and as soon as we're on 50, then I will get cracking. Okay, we've got over 150 people on all platforms as it stands, so smash that like button, and as soon as we get to 50 likes, I'm going to get cracking. Okay, good to see you, Harry. Good to see you, Neil. Good afternoon. How are you? We need to beat Arsenal on Sunday. Absolutely. Ghana is watching. Okay, Marco, big up to you, my friend. When is my background development starting? Well, you know what? I found out what the problem is with the green screen and why I haven't been able to do more in terms of it's got nothing to do with the green screen. It's actually my computer. It's too old. My computer is too old, and that's why every time I try and do something nice with the green screen to make it look fancy, I basically make my head blurry. So yeah. If this update doesn't interest you, remember you can catch the best vlog today on Chelsea Fan TV from Barcelona again. There you go, guys. Yes, Cam did his first vlog, and it was a great vlog. So if you haven't watched it, check it out. That was a really good video. What's my thoughts on Sunday? Well, I'll go through my thoughts, but I'm feeling pretty optimistic. If that's what you're asking me, I am feeling pretty optimistic. I think it will be quite a cagey game. I don't see a free flowing game like we saw against Barcelona, where you got two sides who are basically trying to attack, and that obviously can work out very well, or you can leave yourself very vulnerable. I think that Arsenal are going to be much more safe and defensive, and I think they're going to be relying on set pieces. I think we'll definitely dominate possession against Arsenal. Embarrassed we don't have a sponsorship on the shirts. That's another thing we can speak about. Definitely happy to go through that. We've got a few bits on the sponsorships. What do you think about a possible swap from drinks to front of shirt sponsor with Coke? Would love it personally. I don't see why Coke would do that. I think they're pretty happy with just providing the drinks. They've also got a partnership with Liverpool. I presume they have more partnerships with other clubs as well. Is there even any examples of Coke doing a shirt sponsorship? And I'm not even just talking about football. Have they done that with anyone? So let me know if that is the case. Big up to Rubik's. Score predictions versus Arsenal. I don't know. I'm not sure yet. Give me a little bit of time. I'll do a preview on that tomorrow, and then I'll let you know. But I'm so tired. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Arsenal talking too much nowadays. We are 11th in terms of biggest stadium in the Premier League. Make sense. It is embarrassing when you look at it like that. There's no denying. God, what a kick in the teeth for Cam. Cam done a great job. Oh, God. Sorry, Cam. I mean, I enjoyed it. If that means anything, Cam. I enjoyed the vlog. You know what it is, though, Neil? The more you do it, the better you get. Like anything. So if he does another one, I'm sure it'll be even better. And there's nothing like vlogging a big game as well. I always said the hardest vlogs are the ones where nothing's going on. Those are the hardest ones. Right, smash that like button, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I just need 50 likes, people. We've got almost 100 of you on YouTube. I know people are watching on X as well. Big up to you. You can also share on X and like via X. As soon as we're up to 50, I'm going to get started on Earls Court. United, Spurs, West Ham, Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City, Newcastle, Everton, Sunderland, Villa, and then Chelsea. I'm guessing those are the teams that have bigger stadiums than us. mad is it that Sunderland have a bigger stadium than us as well? And like a couple of years ago, they were in League One. That is crazy. Anthony Taylor is ref on Sunday. That's going to be fun. Alex, you need Sophie's contacts to make your own profile to buy a new PC. You know, I was actually going to try and do an interview with her, and then somebody else, another channel, did it, and I was like, oh, you've sort of taken the idea now. Dan Potts. But maybe it's still worth doing it. Maybe she'd still accept it. But I've lost the hype really because she's already done it now. Big up to Amir. Hope you're doing well. Any updates on Oracle being the front of shirt sponsor? Yeah, I mean, in terms of brand new updates today, I don't have too much for you. But in terms of the whole situation, I can give you a bit of context, especially those of you who aren't in the loop. Right, guys, come on, people. Let's get up to 50 likes. What's taking so long? I want to get cracking. I need 10 more likes, and then we're going to get started, okay? Why not knock it stand by stand? We'll have this conversation on Sunday as well. I'm interested in the stadium talk. Yeah, I mean, the stadium is definitely... It becomes a more important conversation all the time, right? Because the reality is that money is so much more important now with all the regulations that you have and all the rules and all the stupid things that the Premier League or UEFA put in place just to make your life more difficult. And this is really from the perspective of a top club, because I suppose top clubs, when you've got these billionaire owners, like, you can afford to spend the money because you're probably not going to go bust when you're worth hundreds and hundreds of billions of pounds or dollars, whatever it is. I mean, some of the clubs are owned by states, but these rules are in place so that other clubs can obviously run sustainably, and they want to make it fair as well. Which you know, I guess I can understand in that sense. So yes, that's where we are as it stands. Okay, I'm going to get cracking now. Okay, we're going to get started, guys. This is the Earls Court Development Company X account. So just see what they have to say, and this will give us a little bit of context. It was a proud moment last night as the Hammersmith and Fulham Council Planning Committee unanimously resolved to grant permission for its part of the Earls Court Master Plan, a major milestone shaped through years of collaboration with residents, community groups, and local partners. We're creating an inclusive new neighbourhood for West London, 4,000 homes, 12,000 jobs, 3 cultural venues, 20 acres of public realm plus green space, 2.5 meters square feet of climate innovation workspace. Design excellence runs throughout the proposals. The first affordable homes in Hammersmith and Fulham Council are designed by Sterling Prize winners. Our award-winning public realm inclusivity panel has set a new benchmark for accessible inclusive public space. Thank you to everyone involved and to Fulham and Hammersmith Council for its careful consideration. We now look ahead to the RBKC committee next month and remain ready to move at pace, subject to approvals in both boroughs. Now, what that means is basically the RBKC review is the Royal Borough of Kensington and Chelsea. So that's another sort of council, if you want to call it that. So it means that even though Hammersmith and Fulham have approved this, the Royal Borough of Kensington and Chelsea, they haven't, and they have their own planning determination process for the part of the Earls Court redevelopment. And that's because part of that is in their boundary. That's what it's saying, or their area. So it's a 44-acre site, and it's across the two boroughs. So it's got a hybrid planning application, which means that you don't just need permission from Hammersmith and Fulham. You also need permission from Borough of Kensington and Chelsea. They're reviewing the share of the application, policies, documents, and consultants, and they'll take a separate planning committee decision from the side of Kensington and Chelsea. The reason it matters is because they've obviously submitted a scheme of homes, offices, hotels, retail, public realm, and no football stadium. And if Kensington and Chelsea, if that borough approve the scheme as proposed, the site's planning permission will reflect non-stadium uses. A stadium later would require change application and the landowner's consent. Okay. So the consent from the Earls Court Development Company, presumably. As it stands, the Royal Borough of Kensington and Chelsea obviously hasn't approved it yet, but Hammersmith and Fulham has. And now we have published supporting documents tied to Earls Court's application with planning statements, housing statements, which is exactly what people mean when they say RBKC review. It's the borough's live examination of the proposal before the committee, which is going to be next month, guys. So this is still going to move pretty quick. So if Chelsea want to get cracking, like, there is an opportunity, but you need to get moving. The way it works in a nutshell is there's going to be an application lodged to both boroughs, a validation and consultation, an officer report, and basically they'll publish more updates, which is what we're seeing now, and then they'll make a decision. So bottom line is, it's not looking good. If Chelsea want a new stadium, it's not looking great. But that doesn't mean it's over, because we are not just reliant on Fulham. We are also reliant on Kensington. Okay, Kensington is still an option. If we're looking for just that little hole to sneak through and see if we can change the narrative here about Earls Court. And when I'm talking about the narrative, I'm talking about the council, because obviously the council, presumably, they're all thinking that this is going to go ahead, the Earls Court Development Company. I mean, why wouldn't they? It's been in the works for years. And if we're being honest, it's a great project. You know, I don't know how many of you live in England, but the idea of having anything in central London or West London that creates 12,000 jobs, 4,000 homes is a pretty nice thing. It's a good thing, isn't it? And Chelsea have to make a very compelling argument to change that. But it doesn't seem like we have the drive or the ambition. And as I said before, if you've been watching the whole video, from Clear Lake's perspective, they're not interested in building a stadium, guys. They're not interested. Yes, that is correct, Neil. That is correct. Smash the like button, guys, if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Got almost 100 of you on YouTube. Let's get up to 75 likes if you're enjoying what you're seeing. If you like what you're watching. Any thoughts on where we could build our new stadium? I guess this is kind of one of the other sides, Neil, is how far are we willing to go? You know, because under Abramovich, we were looking at building a stadium in Battersea. Now, I don't know exactly how far Battersea is to Fulham distance. How far is it from Battersea to Fulham? Point being, like, Abramovich wanted to build in Battersea. A lot of people were against that. The CPO were against that, which is why it never happened. But that would have given us the opportunity to build in a location and obviously have a slightly larger, still have a much bigger stadium. But because we're in Fulham, we are capped. We're not just capped in terms of where we currently are, but we're capped in terms of being able to build locally and still having a good site. It was the Battersea Power Station, and that's about 2 miles from Fulham Broadway. So 10-15 minute drive by car, 30-40 minute walk. Okay, that's not even that bad. That's honestly not that bad. But obviously that option is no longer available. Earls Court was even easier. It was even closer. But if this goes ahead and then they get permission from Kensington, you can wave goodbye to that opportunity. And by the way, I have to say, I am all for Earls Court. Like, I'm a huge advocate for Earls Court. I think it's the right thing to do. I think it makes sense for the club. I think it makes sense for the fans. You know, a lot of people say, well, it's good that we can stay at Stamford Bridge, but by staying at Stamford Bridge, you're restricting a lot of people, and you're almost forcing the idea of ticket prices going up as well, more than they need to. If you get an extra 20,000 seats, sure, you know, they need to pay off the stadium. Like, I can accept that, but also they need to raise revenues with the stadium we're already in. So we can't forget that either. These are all factors involved. And I think that the longer you stay in a smaller stadium, unfortunately, especially when we're playing at a high level and we're beating teams like Barcelona 3-0, and you're second in the Prem, you're still in all these other competitions, and we have things to shout about, like the Club World Cup, like the Conference League, hopefully more trophies as well coming this year, then there's always going to be a justification to increase season ticket prices and membership prices, all of them really. Every ticket will go up because they'll look at Tottenham and they'll look at Arsenal, they'll look at all these other clubs and they'll go, well, we're still one of the cheaper clubs out there. You know, a couple of years ago, my season ticket, it was £40 a game. Now it's around 50, 55. That's quite a big jump in a couple of years. If that continues to happen, then in the next sort of, I don't know, 5 years, I might be paying double. I could be going from paying 40 to 80. And that's that's what they want to do. I can't stop that. But I guess when you've got such a small stadium, you can appreciate that you have to try and bring revenue in another way. If you can't put more people in the stadium, then you've got to increase the prices. So those people who are against Earls Court, that is the issue. So you may not like it. You may think that, especially older fans really that feel this way, you may think, oh, Chelsea's, Stamford Bridge is our home. Brilliant. I once lived in Reading. I don't live in Reading anymore. I live in Twyford. Homes can change. All right. You can change. You can change where you live. Doesn't have to be far. I'm not talking about Newcastle here. I'm not saying we have to relocate to Geordieland. We don't have to move to Manchester. It's literally a mile away, if that. So those people complaining about Earls Court, I find it very, very strange that you're not even open to this, because also you're opening the door to a potentially worse situation happening. And maybe years down the line, we could be having this conversation in 10 years and we still got Stamford Bridge. And there might be another opening somewhere 5 miles away. And then what's going to happen? You're going to want to go 5 miles back. I'd much rather go to Earls Court than somewhere else, because the truth is it could get worse. It could definitely get worse, and we could be forced to move further out. And nobody wants that. We want to continue to support all of the local businesses that are around Stamford Bridge. We want to support the pubs, your Konakais, your Sichan Popo, the local Chinese outside Stamford Bridge, the butchers, all of them, all of those pubs, the Goose, the Tavern. I could go on and on. And, moving would really affect a lot of those local businesses. And that's not what we want. We want to continue to build the community around Chelsea. And by moving to somewhere like Earls Court, we would allow ourselves to do it. We'd make it much, much easier. Yeah, the new affordable homes and the jobs, that's the thing. I guess the question is, like Andrew says, well, what is affordable? What is affordable housing, right? Affordable housing is not 700k, that's for sure. But I can imagine there'll be a lot of flats and things like that. But I don't know the prices. United States of Chelsea says Stamford Bridge is smaller than my local college football team. University of Georgia football, 93k capacity. Well, if I'm being honest, mate, pretty much every team has a smaller stadium than that. So it's not really embarrassing to have less than 93,000, but you need at least 60, 65 in the modern day, if we're being honest. And you can live on that for a while. You don't need much more than that. Cobham, says Neil. Interesting suggestion. Although Cobham's out of the way, how far is Cobham from Fulham? I don't think that's that close. You used to work in Battersea and there's no footprint to build a stadium. Mark says it's so sad how far we are behind the rest of the top of the Premier League. 55,000 is the max. I think we can get up to more than that, Neil. I think we can get to about 60 odd. 55 is not worth it. 55 is just, if we're being honest, it's a little bit. It's not really worth the investment, guys, for an extra 15,000 seats. If you're able to go from 40 to 60, that, like, I can justify it. It's just unfortunate because you can't do anything more on top of that. But if you're going from 40 to, being able down the line to go up to 75. Not saying you have to do it now, but you would have the option to extend even more if you wanted to. Then I think that would be great. Okay, yeah, turn the ends behind the goals to terrace, which is an increased capacity. Fair enough. So big tips. The approval is the council, my friend. The boroughs. Kensington have not approved yet. So if they approve Earls Court, we're not getting it. Basically, Leeds announced they're upgrading their stadium. They'll be at 53k. Yeah, this is the thing, guys. It's embarrassing when you got all these other clubs that are able to build. We're in such a sticky position because we're right in the soul of the most expensive part of London. I mean, it doesn't make it easy. And that is where we are in terms of the stadium. In terms of Cobham, guys, it's 14 miles away. Well, it actually says anywhere between sort of 15 to 17, 18 miles. That's an hour away in a car, an hour away on the train. It's just not. It's not near enough. It's too far away. It's so far. I wouldn't want to build in Cobham. I also don't think Cobham would allow us to build a stadium in the council, because I know there was a lot of complaints because of the fact that Chelsea, basically because there's so many Chelsea players living near Cobham and around that area because they train there, the house prices have gone up, and it's affected a lot of the locals. So I don't see Chelsea having the option to be able to build in Cobham, which is unfortunate, like not to have the option anyway. But I don't see it I wouldn't want to go to Cobham from where I live. That would be rubbish for me. I mean, how long would that take me to get to Cobham? There isn't any way of finding anything else in South London. No, but this is the thing. Like, no, we don't want to go to South London. We don't want it. This is why I'm such an advocate of Earls Court. Is you're still in your area. Would you rather move to a different house in the same neighborhood or move to a different neighborhood? I'm pretty sure you'd rather stay where you are, especially if you call it home. I mean, for me to get to Cobham is a joke. Right now, I get on the Lizzie line, I get off at Paddington, I get trained to Fulham, done. I'd have to go to Reading, and then I'd have to go to Guildford. That's 45 minutes right there. Then I'd have to go another 30 minutes to Cobham. It's not a good journey. Hour and a half. Not for me, guys. So that's the situation with the Earls Court Development Company as it stands, guys. That is the situation. I mean, for those of you who haven't actually seen pictures either, I'm sorry, I should have shared this with you a bit earlier. This is what it's going to look like. So this is what they're trying to build. So it's going to have like a little lake area with some greenery, slides, like a little playground almost. If you're looking at it from above, I mean, it looks fantastic in that sense. It looks really, really good. You can't deny this will be good for London. No denying that whatsoever. It looks beautiful in the evening times. Now, whether it's actually going to look anything like that is a different story. Bakery, ice cream area. So just like a little local place. Looks nice. I mean, for London, that's good, isn't it? And then this area almost looks a bit like Wembley, doesn't it? When you walk down and you've got the shops on your left and your right, people cycling down, you've got your restaurants, etc. That is what Earls Court that looks like the direction that they're going to move in. The ladies are in Kingston. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I just don't want to go that far from the bridge. Like, this is the thing. Earls Court is the perfect middle ground. This is the perfect middle ground, guys. If you don't want to leave Stamford Bridge, then you should be all for Earls Court, because if we're not going there, we might be going a lot further. And then you'll be even more unhappy. Roman's plans for the bridge rebuild were approved by the council. Why do we not go back to that? Well, if you're asking me why it never happened, it's because Roman Abramovich got sanctioned, and he then got an Israeli passport and spent all of his time in Israel. So he wasn't in the country. So why would you want to build somewhere where you're basically not allowed to go? Why would you want to invest? Of course you wouldn't. In terms of that as well, I mean, it's basically the same thing now, guys. I mean, it's just to say you could still build, but you can't deny that you're capped, and you have to accept that. You cannot deny that. What else have we got, guys? What else is in the works as well? Because there is more stuff that's going on. Yes, in terms of the stadium, that's obviously the main topic of today. Commercially, obviously, we know that Coca-Cola, we've got a new partnership with them that was signed a few days ago. That's a long-term official soft drink supplier deal with pouring rights at Stamford Bridge in Kingsmeadow. So now if you're at Stamford Bridge, you'll be able to have, Sprite, Fanta, and any type of Coke, basically, in the stadium. And that's because of the sponsorship. If there's one thing I do like about some of the deals we've got over the line, I love the fact that we've actually got half decent beers now. Like, you can have a number of different beers. You can have your Madries, your Carls, but like, you can have basically any beer. That was always frustrating in previous years. The beer was just terrible, and now we've got some nice beer. So, cheers to that. Right, let's go through some more stuff. Also, oh my God, we have got to give some credit to Strasbourg. I mean, Strasbourg, sensational, guys. Absolutely sensational. Honestly, I am really, really impressed with Strasbourg. I don't know what it is about Strasbourg. I mean, I've always been relatively interested in Strasbourg, but I never really watched many of their games. But the result against Crystal Palace was sensational. It was fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. And I mean, I was really, really impressed with that. I mean, I watched the first half. I didn't watch the second half. I'll be totally honest with you. But even in the first half, I was really, really impressed. The one player that stood out for me for Strasbourg was what's his name? Valentin Barco in the midfield. Now, I don't know what it is about this guy, Barco. It's first of all, guess who Strasbourg signed him from? Brighton, obviously. But Barco, it just, for me, that is a great player to have at Strasbourg. And I'm not even advocating for him coming to Chelsea, because listen, if you're not going to develop, then stay where you are, right? Honestly, I think that he probably wouldn't get that many minutes at Chelsea. You're competing with Caicedo, you're competing with and Andre Santos as well for that third spot. You got Lavia as well when he comes back, and Enzo Fernandez. So very difficult to justify Barco actually getting into the Chelsea squad. But the whole point of me bringing him up is just remember the name, guys. Remember the name, and remember that when we talk about Strasbourg, like, there's a number of players that have an affiliation with Chelsea or are going to have something to do with Chelsea. We know that, obviously, let me just zoom out a tiny bit. We know Mike Penders is obviously on loan from Chelsea. We know Sarr is on loan from Chelsea. Moreira, if you don't remember him, he was obviously with us. And Ciso, remember the whole transfer saga? He's ended up going to Strasbourg. He was pretty good. Omega is coming to Chelsea. We've already signed him. So 3 of these players potentially could be at Stamford Bridge next season, providing they don't go out on loan again or sold, whatever it is. But for me, Barker was really, really impressive. Really impressive. He's a very small player. He's hard to miss because he's got bright ginger hair, or red hair, whatever you want to call it. And he doesn't mess around. He gets stuck in and he gets the job done. I think that whatever Liam Rosnier is doing, by the way, I'm a huge fan of Liam Rosnier. I said this last season. If you did end up sacking Maresca, and this is when obviously I wasn't a fan of him. I always said that I was a big fan of Rosnier, and I look, I wouldn't have been happy with bringing Liam Rosnier to Chelsea. It's still not the standard, but at least the style of football is more appealing. And that's what I like about Rosnier, is he plays risky football, but it's very attractive to watch. It's very fast paced. And, we sometimes struggle with that at Chelsea, don't we? We think that we're playing a little bit slow and maybe not going for it as much as we could. When you could pass forwards, you pass backwards, etc. And that's something that we don't really get with Strasbourg, especially not from what I saw with the Palace game. Smash that like button if you haven't already, guys. We're almost 100 of you in the building. Let's get up to 100 likes, guys. Once we got up to 100 likes, I think that is a good place to be. Appreciate everyone watching regardless. What is this? Why don't we do an Inter Milan do stadium share? Who are we going to share a stadium with? Tottenham? Come on, mate. That is not a serious question. No chance. Thought part of the purchase deal when Clear Lake purchased from Mr. Abramovich was they had to build a stadium. Well, stadium redevelopment was actually the part of the deal. I think that's a great point you make, Matty, but it has to make sense. And you also have to have permission to do it, not just from the council, but the CPO. And nobody has put a proposal forward to the Chelsea pitch owners. So it's very difficult to say anything there. Happy hour in the ground for home fans, 2 for 1 on beers. Where's that, Charlie? Is that for Arsenal? Or are you advocating for that? But yeah, in terms of Strasbourg, like, I was really, really impressed. They do some strange things with the goalkeeper in terms of the way they build up. That was very strange. I mean, very risky as well, if we're being totally honest. Because what they do is they basically have their 2 centre-backs, and then Penders comes in as a sort of a third centre-back. and he frees up a little bit of space, because obviously if you go to press Penders, then you're not pressing one of the outfield players. But yeah, Strasbourg, they did an awful lot. I thought Moreira was very good as well in terms of his overlapping runs on the left. I remember him playing Diego Moreira. Was it against Wimbledon in the Cup under Pochettino? And he was so poor, like really poor. It was not, it was not good to watch from his perspective. But nonetheless, like as a player, half of the battle is just finding the confidence and getting a little bit of trust from the manager and from the team around you. And it seems like he has that at Strasbourg, right? He's very comfortable. And I say to him, fair play. I mean, Palace should have really, if we're being honest, I think Palace should have scored more than one goal, because one of the things about Penders coming out as far as he did is when they give the ball away, they just have a shot on goal. And they did have that, Palace, with Sarr. But he hit the post. So we got away with it. And I think that, I think it was a mature performance from Strasbourg. You got to remember, like, I don't think there's a single player in that side that is over the age of 23. That's what I remember hearing on the commentary. Like, if that is the case, if that is true, like, how impressive is that, guys? That is seriously impressive. The way that Strasbourg knocked it about as well was just brilliant. There was constantly movement. There was constantly runners. Very, very attractive side to watch. Obviously, Omega getting his goal as well. Moreira got the assist for that. I was impressed with Omega's attitude as well. His willingness to track back at points and work for the team. He seems like a very selfless player. And I think Maresca would like that. And when you've got a player like that who can also score goals, then, you've got a great recipe. But Strasbourg, they did make a few mistakes where they should have been punished. I forgot Adam Wharton hit the post as well. And that was a similar mistake with Penders being out of position. So, I mean, that goes to show that when you play risky football, you can definitely get punished. So there's an argument for Palace to have lost that game. To have won that game, by 3-1 or something like that. But it's not about how many chances you have. It's what you do with them. And I think even though Strasbourg played more attractive football, they took their chances regardless. And then they had a free kick as well, hit the post, and then managed to convert that one as well. How good are Strasbourg's ultras, by the way? How good are they? Their ultras are unreal. I'll never forget, like 15 minutes in, the first 15 minutes, it was sort of silent. Not silent, but like, I was like, well, not really hearing many ultras here. It sounds a bit quiet for Strasbourg. And then they started doing like the Icelandic clap. Ooh, ooh. And then they got faster and faster and faster. And then eventually they were all going quick as they could, banging the drums and whatnot. And then they started bouncing. And I guess the reason they were quiet for 15 minutes, if I'm not wrong, Strasbourg are protesting Blueco. And that's one of the reasons they don't chant for the first 15 minutes. I think they still do that. I say fair enough, fair play. That's what I say. If you don't like it, then show that you don't like it. There's literally I have zero issues with that. If only Chelsea fans had a little bit more backbone in terms of the stadium as well. I mean, we certainly make our voices heard at times. No doubt about that. I remember Brentford and all the rest of it. But, yeah. Remember the ultras of the Club World Cup. Crazy. Which ultras are we talking about here? Chelsea ultras? Not so sure about Chelsea ultras. Flamengo had great fans. Palmeiras had pretty good fans. Flamengo had the best fans. I remember the ultras of LAFC. There wasn't many, but there was some ultras there. Flamengo, yeah, that's the one. Is it just me who doesn't care about Strasbourg? All because the owners bought them doesn't mean we have to watch them. No, you don't have to watch them, but they're relevant to us. If you want to know what's going on at Chelsea, then understanding what's going on at Strasbourg helps. Strasbourg is a club that takes our players on loan, develops them, and makes it a lot easier for us to sort out a number of situations. You've got to think of the number of situations we've sorted out because of Strasbourg and how easy that fixes. We managed to get rid of Moreira because of Strasbourg. We managed to buy Enciso without actually having him at Chelsea because of Strasbourg. We've managed to give. Well, we gave Petrovic minutes at Strasbourg last season. We also did that with André Santos. We developed him there. Penda's the same, Sarr the same. Omega is a product of Strasbourg and is going to come to Chelsea. You cannot deny the value of Strasbourg. Not to mention Ben Chilwell. You know, he came on in the 43rd minute. We were able to offload him because of Strasbourg. Kendry Pires because of Strasbourg. So you cannot deny the value that Strasbourg has. Strasbourg is a very, very valuable club to have. I think Chelsea have really hit the jackpot in terms of having that club to partner with because it's not even far from England. Literally in the neighbouring country. I know it's on the border of Germany, but it's in France. And I think in terms of the development from French football to English football, you see a lot of success there. The same as you see a lot of success in Portugal. So again, if you're looking at another club, you're looking at a Portuguese club. And I think that's the other stage. But Santos in Brazil is one more club that they're looking at. Wembley or Twickenham for Chelsea home games while we wait for Earls Court is ideal. And we'll get the club accustomed week in, week out for 70, 80,000 fans. I mean, it's not a bad idea. I'm not against moving to Wembley or Twickenham for a number of years to build a stadium. That's not a problem for me. We just have to figure out a solution first, though, mate. Why hate on Strasbourg? Listen, it's all opinions, guys. It's all opinions. Smash that like button, guys, if you haven't already. We're almost on 100. I'm going to put a poll out there as well while we're here. Let's do a little poll. Stadium. I want to know what you think about the stadium. What do we do? Redevelop Stamford Bridge. Go to Earls Court. Find another location in London. Those are the options. The poll is now out. Show me what you are thinking, guys. Let me know what you're thinking. Build it like the Birmingham one. Sausage and mash FC. That's people take the piss out of that stadium, but I'll be honest with you, like, at least Birmingham are going for it. You can't deny the ambition. I think it's great that they've got the ambition. Yeah. Chelsea turned down an approach for Pedro Neto at the end of last window from a top European club. which shows the regard in which he is held at Stamford Bridge and beyond. For me, guys, like I've always said, I'm a huge fan of Pedro Neto. He is so underrated. Nobody talks about this guy. I was the one who talked about him a couple of games ago, and I said, listen, Pedro Neto is the man. Why are we not giving Pedro Neto more credit? Honest to God. Come on, people. He is legendary. Legendary. I love him. Pedro Neto's quality, character, and work ethic has generated huge popularity inside Chelsea, while his ability to operate on either wing and even centrally offers versatility. Like, how many players will offer you what Pedro Neto offers you? How many players will do that? So that is what I want to know. For me, he is so key to what we're doing. And, I think that he just deserves a lot more credit. He deserves a lot more praise for what he offers this team. If every team had a Pedro Neto, he would start majority of the time. Maybe not at Man City. But I think if Liverpool had Pedro Neto, I think he'd start most weeks for Liverpool. Like, I honestly believe that. 9 out of 10 teams would love to have a player like that. What's going on with you and Johnny Minerals? Nothing. I haven't spoken with Johnny. But we have to move because we can't rebuild and we can't go to Earls Court. Estimated 800 million. Watch Chelsea versus Barcelona worldwide. Chelsea are a huge global brand and a world-leading one of the top 10 clubs in football. As we should be, my friend, as we should be. Neto does have 4 lungs, absolutely. He shouldn't be sold. Agreed, Neil, agreed. Yeah, it's probably... Scott's not a big fan. Johnny said that the channel slandered his name and is the reason that he's banned from the bridge. I'll be honest with you. I just don't care enough to slander anyone. I don't care enough. Johnny was banned years ago. What was it? 2 years ago he got banned? Whatever it was. Or was it last season? I can't remember. Yeah, I mean, it's not brand new news. But the reason he was banned was because he kept calling the owners clowns and getting personal. I mean, that's always going to get you banned. Is Harry ever coming back for the watch-alongs? You know what? I would love him too, but he's not interested. He's not interested. So that's not my decision. That's his decision. My daughter Emily, who came to the protest, said hi. Hi, Emily. Hope you're doing well. There is next to no chance of Nicholas Jackson fulfilling the obligations necessary to make the Bayern move permanent. 40 starts in all competitions, or Bayern choosing to sign him without a major renegotiation of the pre-agreed £57 million fee. Chelsea has no interest in changing the condition. So there you go. That means that Jackson's going to end up going somewhere else. But kind of, we already figured this out when we realized it was, such an unrealistic amount of games that he needed to start. You were a bit like, really? But on a positive note, what I will say is we've got a great loan fee for Jackson. So, I mean, you can still justify the loan. and he obviously didn't want to stay with us. So that's a positive. That's a good thing. Chelsea Wonder Kids in the Champions League this week. Esteval, goal. Quenda, goal and assist. And Satpayev, another goal as well. We are rocking. We are on fire in that sense. You can't deny the quality that we have with these youngsters. It is very, very impressive. I'm looking forward to seeing all these boys at Chelsea. Although, listen, I mean, it looked like Quenda could potentially be here next season already. Sampaev, difficult to know if he's going to be starting. I think he'll probably get a loan, which I think will be good for him. But we'll see what happens there. Thoughts on Nina getting on Sky? Fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, and she spoke facts, didn't she? You can't deny when she spoke about Barcelona and Burnley, she wasn't wrong. She was not wrong. And yeah, I think people need to understand that Chelsea are just a team that really do well against other big teams, especially when they come out and play, which is one of the reasons why I'm not 100% sure if we're going to beat Arsenal. But I'm not saying I'm not confident, because I am confident. But Arsenal won't come and press. I don't think they'll do that. And I think that we always do very well when teams come at us. That's just my opinion. Listen, guys, if you haven't smashed that like button, please do subscribe to the channel as well. I'm going to wrap it up there. We've spoken about the stadium. We've touched on Strasbourg recently as well. What a brilliant win over Crystal Palace. Our Wonder Kids are on fire. Jackson doesn't look like he's going to be going to Bayern Munich. We obviously have our sponsorship with Coke as well, if you wanted some commercial news. And in terms of the stadium, not looking great. Not looking great if you want to move to Earls Court. But that's where we are now. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. And we will catch up very, very soon. All the best, guys. And enjoy the rest of your week.